Hi friends! Most people think green tea is just a healthier coffee. But what if I told you one type of green tea can help you stabilize your blood sugars, protect your brain, and activate anti-cancer pathways, and another, it just might expose you to heavy metals. And the most powerful version? Well, it's not even brewed the same way. Today, I'm going to show you why green tea works at a cellular level, how the caffeine in green tea is completely different from coffee, and the hidden risks that no one talks about. And on top of that, we're going to talk about matcha and why that's a completely different category. So I recently had a friend who told me they switched from coffee to green tea because she had anxiety from drinking coffee, but she still needed energy. And every time she drank coffee, it made her jittery, distracted, and then she would crash. So within a week of switching to green tea, she noticed something really strange. She wasn't just energized, but she was actually focused. And instead of being jittery, she was calm and alert. And that's when she realized green tea just isn't a weaker source of caffeine. It's a different biological signal entirely. So green tea comes from the same plant as black tea, Camellia sinensis. I actually visited the mountains of China once. The fields are full of green tea in certain areas. I rode on a gondola ride and green tea was everywhere, 360 degrees around the gondola. I even met a green tea farmer and a tea roaster, and I'll show you the images a little later. The difference with green and black tea is really the processing. Green tea is minimally oxidized, which preserves powerful plant compounds. The most important of these are catechins, especially one called EGCG, epigalactocatechin gallate. This is where everything starts. And this is why green tea is synonymous with health. EGCG is not just an antioxidant. That word is actually too weak. It's a metabolic regulator. First, it improves insulin sensitivity. That helps your cells respond better to insulin every time you have carbohydrates. That means lower blood sugar spikes, less fat storage, more stable energy. Second, it activates AMPK, which is your metabolic master switch. When AMPK is activated, your body burns fat. It produces more mitochondria. It improves your energy efficiency. And third, it reduces oxidative stress. That protects everything in your body, your blood vessels, your brain cells, even your DNA. And of course, it has to modulate inflammation. Chronic inflammation is linked to cancer, dementia, heart disease. Green tea helps to calm that signal. But here's the twist. If green tea is so powerful, then why doesn't everybody get the same benefits? Well, we'll come back to that a little later. A quick note before we continue. I see a lot of messages in the comments all the time from people who have watched a few of my videos and they didn't realize that they weren't subscribed. So if you find value in my videos, can you please click the like and double check that you're subscribed? It's free and it really does help get my message to other people. And if you are subscribed, thank you very much for joining me to change the world. First, let's talk about the caffeine and why caffeine in tea just feels different. Green tea has lower caffeine, about 40 milligrams per cup. Unlike coffee, it can be up to 200 milligrams. And it's not just the amount that makes a difference, it's the delivery system. Green tea contains L-theanine, and this changes everything. L-theanine crosses a blood-brain barrier. It increases alpha brain waves, calming and focusing your brain. It reduces overstimulation. So instead of the spike and anxiety and crash you get from caffeine, you get smooth focus, sustained energy, no crash. And that's why monks have used and drank green tea for centuries. They don't use it for stimulation, they use it for clarity. But here's where it gets even more interesting. The same leaf that gives you these benefits can also absorb toxins, heavy metals. Tea plants are very efficient in absorbing minerals from the soil. Unfortunately, that includes lead, cadmium, aluminum. And now, here's the key insight. When you regularly drink tea, when you steep your leaves, and then you get rid of the leaves, you really don't get exposed to heavy metals. For matcha, though, you consume the entire leaf. That gives you potentially higher exposure, so quality is critical. Now, if you drink a cup of a low quality matcha, well, it's probably not a big problem. But if you drink multiple cups every day, you may drink matcha regularly, then that could be a problem. Contamination becomes very relevant, especially when you do things long term. So if matcha has higher risks, then why do people say it's the healthiest form? Well, matcha is powdered green tea leaves, but it's not just any leaves. They are shade grown, they're higher in chlorophyll, they're higher in amino acids, they're higher in magnesium. So when you drink matcha, you are consuming 100% of a green leaf. So this means that you get more EGCG, 3 to 10 times higher than regular steep tea. You get L-theanine, better focus, less jittery. You get more chlorophyll, that supports detoxification pathways and gives you magnesium. And you get other micronutrients, trace minerals. So matcha enhances mitochondrial efficiency, fat oxidation, insulin signaling. It also influences autophagy, your body's cellular cleanup system. And this is one reason why matcha is associated with longevity, reduced neurodegeneration. But here's a catch. Not all matcha are the same quality. The quality makes a difference, folks. High quality matcha, bright green, smooth taste, fine powder. They're often from Japan. Low quality matcha, dull or green, yellow, bitter, less nutrient dense, higher contamination. And really, if you're drinking any tea regularly, first, drink it in between meals. It does inhibit your absorption of iron in your foods. It's best to separate that unless your problem is too much iron, then it would be a good thing to drink it with your meals. Avoid adding sugar. I know those sugary boba drinks are delish, but it actually contributes to more insulin resistance, fatty liver, obesity, and it'll really thin out your wallet. You're going to go broke paying for that. But it's what, like $6 to $8 per tea? Whereas you can make these things for pennies yourself. Avoid pairing tea with dairy. Dairy contains a protein called casein that binds to the beneficial polyphenols in your tea that you're trying to get. That'll nullify your health benefits. And avoid pairing it with high-fat meals. So if you decide to try matcha, start with small amounts, get a high-quality source, avoid overheating it, protect the compounds. Green tea does help with glucose regulation by flattening your glucose spikes and improves insulin signaling and reduces post-meal inflammation. So that's why you want to preserve all the benefits of the tea. You don't want to overheat it up. And this is especially powerful when you combine it with fiber-rich whole foods and low-fat whole foods. Now, I'm sure you've heard of green tea for longevity. I drink it for longevity. Green tea compounds can reduce DNA damage, slow abnormal cell growth, and influence tumor signaling pathways. I'm all for that if it's going to give me a little bit of an itch. Green tea supports neuroprotection for your brain by improving blood flow. That is amazing. That's what I'm trying to do to counteract all the things that cause plaque in my arteries. And L-theanine, again, focus, calmness, long-term brain protection. So I have here different types of teas. Now, my favorite is this one, matcha.com. It actually is tested for heavy metals. It's tested for its polyphenols. It's grown in the shade, and it's made to drink with a whisk. You don't want to heat it too much. This is actually, I think, the finest quality tea that I can find that will report its heavy metal content. And it has acceptable heavy metals. All plants have a little bit of metals in it because it's in the earth. And the goal is, how can we reduce that and still get the health benefits from the leaf? So this is what I drink every day. And in a moment, I'll show you how I drink it. This I bought at Costco. Actually, I didn't buy it. My husband bought it. And it says here, 100% Japanese green tea powder. It's everyday matcha. I try to look for its polyphenol content, for its heavy metal content. I really couldn't find it. And so because I just know that, this little can is more expensive than this bag. I mean, there is just no way that this is ceremonial grade matcha. They do have a ceremonial grade on their website, and that costs like $30. This is still a little bit more expensive, but I choose my foods based on its manufacturer to report its heavy metals as well as its polyphenols. And if it doesn't do that, then I'll probably skip over it and not use it. Between these two, I prefer matcha.com. And by the way, I don't get paid by matcha.com, so it's just a brand that I found that I like. Another brand that I like is Peak Tea. Now, this isn't green tea, it's actually black tea, but I do have tried its ceremonial grade matcha. It comes in little packets, so Peak has a cold extraction method that brews the tea so it's less bitter. It comes in these little packets like this, and it's a good travel pack. So I take Peak, or I take, my son actually likes the fermented brand. That's why I have it around. And then you just pour it in water, shake it up, and you drink it. So it's actually quite convenient, Peak Tea. Although it doesn't report its heavy metal or its polyphenol content, I found a website called Consumer Labs. I looked it up, and it does have acceptable heavy metal as well as acceptable polyphenols. That's another source that I will drink from is Peak Tea. I know lots of you shop at Trader Joe's. So Trader Joe's has a green tea. So this is, those packets, these packets of green tea, you open it up and you have this container that you put in water, right? I actually think it has an acceptable amount of polyphenols in the Trader Joe's green tea. And also, you're not going to be eating these tea leaves, right? So if you're not going to be eating tea leaves, then the heavy metal content really is not going to be there because heavy metal doesn't dissolve in water, right? It's going to be trapped in the tea leaves. The only thing that I have against these tea packets is the tea packet itself. There's a lot of microplastics in it. So if I do drink it, I will open it up and then pour it out in a little container to let it seep and then not drink the tea leaves. Or I'll show you a tea kettle that you can get that can help you to do the same thing. That would be Trader Joe's tea leaves. Hi, friends. I am so thrilled that you want to take charge of your health and take charge of your food. Now, I know nutrition can be complex, but it doesn't have to be. And I'm here to support you in this lifelong journey. So if you point your camera app to this QR code, it'll take you to a link for a free handout that I created just for you. And if you like it, if you want to see other handouts, please go to the link in my show notes and then you can leave me your feedback on what I could do to help you in your journey. Okay, back to the video now. Now, if you go to Asian supermarkets have lots of different teas. This is a famous brand called Tenren. It is one of my favorite flavors of jasmine tea, but of course you're going to have the tea packet issue so that you probably should take it apart, pour it out if you don't want the microplastics, okay? But I will drink from these teas as well. It really depends on my mood. And this is another brand of green tea that I bought from the Asian supermarket. So of course, these are different prices. So if you buy something like this from Peak, their teas range from $30 to $60. Matcha.com, I want to say this was like around $40-ish. This green tea is probably less than $10. And I think this is, I want to say less than $20. I don't remember. I didn't buy it. And these teas, depending on the package that you range, you can get it from somewhere as low as $5 to, the sky's the limit depending on the quality of tea that you buy. I'll show you another tea that I bought, a tea that I bought from a specialty tea shop. It's really pretty. I bought it just to show you. It basically opens up. So they come out like this, little tea buds. Okay. This package was like $15. It had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Probably had about 10 to 12 of these tea leaves, handmade. And then what you do is you heat up the water and you pour it in and it opens up like a flower. Each of these has a unique pattern inside. There's a lot of handmade details to teas. I mean, these tea leaves are actually picked by hand. It's amazing, just super amazing. And I'll also show you how I usually drink tea. Sometimes I mix it with just water and a little bit of milk. So let me make my matcha tea. So this is amazing. This is a powder. So it's a bag that contains separate powders. I just put a little bit. I'm not a big caffeine person, even though it doesn't have a lot of caffeine. I have to drink my tea before 12 noon. Otherwise, I can't sleep. Literally can't sleep. And I'm only drinking a cup of tea with less than a teaspoonful of tea, right? This is probably a teaspoon. And you can cold brew it. This is not really cold water. It's room temperature water. Or you can make it cold, hot water, warm water, however you want to do it. So then I stir this up. You're supposed to whisk it. But I don't have a whisk. I don't know how to clean the whisk. So that's why I don't have a whisk. And then I'll actually put some milk in it. So I'm using soy milk because remember I said if you use like dairy milk, that may not turn out so well because it'll remove all the beneficial polyphenols that you want to get from tea. So I'll whisk it in. And that's one way that I drink my tea. This is delish. That's about it. That's how I drink it. I'm actually quite thirsty. I did want to show you a film about this tea can that I bought. So I saved this can. The tea is gone. These were like perfect green tea leaves in here in this can. It was amazing. I bought it in 2019. That's a date here. And I went to China. I trekked through like mud and dirt. I was really like having second thoughts. But my friend took me to this exclusive tea grower who only sold teas to certain people. So you had to know someone for that person to sell you that tea because they only had a certain amount of teas that they could harvest and their customers are already set. It was so exclusive that this little box of tea was like $75. It was smaller than this box, which is like $40, right? And I think this, I don't know how many ounces this is, but this is definitely a lot heavier. This is a ceremonial grade tea, so it is more expensive than, let's say your Costco bag, and the tea quality makes a difference. Apparently this isn't even that expensive. There are teas that are even more expensive. It was really the lady and her son was there at that time. They would handpick all the leaves. They would roast them slowly over some kind of traditional method. Each tea leaf was so beautiful and vibrant. You can literally see them. And then she taught me that the first harvest has the lightest notes, should have no pesticide because it's the first harvest. People don't spray pesticide until later on. And of course, Sponsor.com, they're not sponsoring my video. It's just, I just liked how they report and they're straightforward to the consumer. It seems like they're not hiding anything. And I'm not surprised because it is started by a very well-known physician as well. I have here peppermint tea. Peppermint tea is totally a different leaf, right? It's an herb. You can buy fresh peppermint in the stores, but this is a decaffeinated tea. We call everything teas, but I just want to make sure you guys knew that, it's not the same as green tea, right? It's a different plant, a different leaf. It has no caffeine. It's refreshing. I like peppermint as well, so I will drink a variety of teas depending on what I want to do. But if I want to sleep, I won't drink any caffeine past 12 because I do think I'm a slow caffeine metabolizer. It'll stay in my system for a long time and I can literally be counting sheep and nothing will happen. So let me show you how people usually drink tea. So if I had loose tea leaves, I would put it in this tea set. So you can buy these tea sets, fill it with water, put tea in there and then pour it out to serve your guests. That's traditionally how people drink tea. But I like iced tea. It's really hot. Like yesterday was 102 in Southern California. So I'm going to show you how to make one of my favorite iced tea beverages. And that would be hot tea. If you were to cold brew your tea, you want to let it sit. You can let it sit in the refrigerator overnight. You basically put your tea leaves in the refrigerator and slowly it will diffuse out the flavor. It'll have less caffeine. It'll have less bitterness. Because it's less bitter, it's a little bit going to have more sweet notes. You'll retain more of the vitamin C and the nutrients in it because sometimes the heat will destroy the nutrients if it's really heat sensitive. Okay, one thing that I forgot to get is water. I'm going to be right back. I have here a jar of water. And usually what I'll do is I'll fill up this water with whatever cup I'm going to get with water. I'm going to pour some ice in it, so I'm not going to fill it up all the way. And I'm going to make my favorite tea, which is passion fruit green tea, okay? Now, first I'm going to make it with this fermented tea because you basically open it up and you pour it in and it'll basically dissolve, right? It dissolves. I like this taste and that's why I still buy it. You can whisk it up a little bit, right, to make it faster. Or if you have a lid to shake it up, that's another way to do it. And then I said passion fruit, right? How am I going to turn this into passion fruit flavors? Well, right behind me, I have lots of passion fruits. So these are passion fruits that my friend and Pilates instructors gave me. I love passion fruit. It is like one of my favorite fruits to eat. It's really interesting fruit. You don't eat the outside. Outside is as hard. It's a shell. But inside is where all the juice is at. And the juice is with the seeds. So you eat the seeds and the juice. So something like this looks pretty smooth. You don't want to open this up. You really want to get a wrinkly passion fruit like that. There's even more wrinkly passion fruit in here. Let's see. I'm going to get this one. Okay. This one's a wrinkly passion fruit. It doesn't necessarily have to be purple. It just needs to be wrinkly for it to work. Okay. So let me show you. I have a cutting board here. And what I'm going to do is take a passion fruit. I'm going to cut it open. You open it up and look at that. This is a flesh that you want to eat. So you bring your teacup. It's going to make a mess. So you really want to get ready and just pour it in. You want to eat the seeds. The seeds are so good for you. This has a ton of vitamin C. Seeds has a lot of fiber, and it just adds that fragrance. So this is how you eat passion fruit. Now, it may not be very sweet. So if you wanted to sweeten it up, you can add a sweet fruit. Like you can add a date in here. You can add a pear or a cherry. Yesterday I made cherry passion fruit because it was just so refreshing, and then it took out the sourness of the passion fruit. Because it can be quite sour. Just prepare for that, but it's very easy. Most people, when you buy those passion fruit drinks in the store, they add sugar. And my whole thing is I'm on a anti-sugar kick. I'm trying to get all of it because I don't like to waste it. This is so hard to find, so hard to buy, so I really don't want to waste this at all. Almost. Okay, so if this is sour, just put in a fruit, right? So I'm going to add some ice because it's pretty hot. It's getting even hotter right now. Not too much ice because I don't want it diluted too much. And this is going to be a delicious passion fruit fermented tea drink, right? I don't get paid by Peak either. I just like these products. I'm just sharing it with you, right? And this is like going to be, I'm going to have a lot of tea. I have to finish both of these before noon so that I don't stay up past midnight. Okay, this is not sour at all. And I think part of it is probably because a little bit of a sweetness of the passion fruit, right? So if I drink that tea, I don't really need the sugar. If I had sugar in it, of course, it would taste better, but I am trying to avoid any added sugar. You can put 1 or 2 or 3, however many passion fruits you want. If you have a friend, that'd be the best way to get them. Or go to an Asian supermarket. But I know some of you just love your coffee. And if you want to learn more about the benefits of coffee, watch the next video.